I still don't know what changed inside me that night. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was instinct. Or maybe it was life telling me that my days of being just a tired single mother were over. But I remember every second of that night like it's carved into my skin. My shift ended at 10:18 p.m. I checked the time twice, even though I already knew I was late. My manager Sarah always said, "Emma, go home early." But going home early doesn't change anything for me. Bills still wait. Rent still waits. And my little girl Lily still asks, "Mom, can I have a new notebook for school?" So I work. I work until my feet hurt and my eyes burn. That night was no different, at least not at first. When I stepped outside the cafe, the air was colder than usual. The wind felt sharp like something was warning me. Downtown looked quiet, too quiet. The neon sign of the cafe flickered behind me, buzzing softly. I pulled my jacket around me tighter and held my bag close to my chest. It wasn't a fancy bag, just a simple black purse, but it had everything inside. My money, my ID, Lily's medicines, her school fee, everything. I took a deep breath and started walking toward the parking lot. I always parked far because the closer spots were reserved for daytime customers. At night, the lot was almost empty, surrounded by old buildings and broken streetlights. My footsteps felt too loud on the pavement. 10 steps later, I heard it. Another footstep. Not mine. I froze for a moment, then tried to calm my mind. Maybe it was a cat. Maybe a drunk guy passing by. Maybe my imagination. I forced myself to take another step. The sound came again. This time clearer. Heavier. Slow. Like someone wasn't in a hurry, because they already knew where I was going. My throat went dry. I looked straight ahead, pretending I didn't hear anything. Pretending I wasn't scared. Pretending I wasn't a single mother who couldn't afford to break down right now. I needed to get home. Lily was alone with her homework, probably waiting for me with her drawing spread out on the floor. I moved faster. The footsteps behind me moved faster too. I didn't dare turn around. I felt the cold air hit my back as if someone's eyes were burning holes into me. My heart started beating too fast, and my hands began to shake. I pressed the unlock button on my car key again, and again even though I wasn't close enough yet. I whispered to myself, "It's nothing, Emma. It's nothing. Don't panic. Just walk." But the fear inside me wasn't listening. When I finally reached my car, I went straight for the driver's side and pulled the handle. It didn't open. I pressed the unlock button again. Still didn't open. My hands were shaking too much. I tried again. This time it opened, but before I could get inside, a deep voice behind me said, "You look scared." My entire body turned cold. I spun around slowly, and there he was, a tall man in a black hoodie standing under the broken streetlight. His face was half in the shadows. His posture was relaxed, too relaxed. Like he controlled the whole street. Like he controlled me. I swallowed hard but didn't say anything. My voice wasn't working. He took one step closer, and the gravel under his shoes cracked loudly. "Don't worry," he said. "I'm not here to hurt you." My heart screamed that it was a lie. He tilted his head slightly. "Long shift?" he asked. His voice was smooth, too smooth, like someone practiced sounding friendly. His eyes were hungry, sharp, watching every small movement I made. I forced myself to reply, "I don't have money." He smirked. "Everyone says that." My hand tightened on my car door. I didn't want him to see how scared I was. A single mother alone at night was exactly the kind of person men like him targeted. I tried to stay calm. "I need to go home," I said softly. He stepped closer, and now the streetlight hit part of his face. He had a short beard, dark eyes, and a smile that wasn't a smile at all. "I like your bag," he said. "It's nothing valuable," I whispered. "Let me check that," he replied. My body locked. My chest tightened. I could feel myself shaking, but I didn't want him to see. I pushed the door open wider, pretending I was getting inside. Maybe I could slam the door and lock it fast. But he moved too quickly. He grabbed my arm. His grip was strong, cold. I gasped. He leaned close. "Don't make this hard," he said, his breath hitting my face. I tried to pull away. "Please, my daughter." He tightened his hold. "Then cooperate." I don't want trouble. But trouble was all he brought. For a second I thought about screaming, but my voice got stuck. Fear wrapped around my throat like a hand. The parking lot was empty. The cafe was too far. And no one walked here at night. He reached for my bag. Pulled it back. That changed his expression. His face went from fake friendly to annoyed. Angry. You really want to do this? He said. I thought of Lily. Her drawings. Her smile. Her tiny hands hugging me every morning. I couldn't lose everything inside that bag. I couldn't go home empty-handed. I couldn't let some stranger destroy everything. I said no, I said. He laughed quietly. Brave. Stupid but brave. He suddenly pushed me against the car. My back hit the metal door hard. Pain shot up my spine. He grabbed the strap of my bag and yanked. I held it tight. He pulled harder. The strap burned against my hand. He was stronger. Much stronger. My heart was beating so fast it hurt. My vision blurred for a moment. I closed my eyes and prayed for someone, anyone, to pass by. For a car. For a voice. For anything. Just then, headlights appeared at the entrance of the parking lot. A car turning in. The thief panicked. He stepped back, looked at the car and cursed under his breath. Before I could react, he ran into the darkness behind the dumpster. The car parked near me. The door opened. Emma, a voice called. Officer James, the young police officer who lived 3 floors above me. He looked at me with confusion and concern. Are you okay? What happened? I couldn't answer. I just stared at him, shaking, holding my bag like my life depended on it. He walked closer slowly. Emma, did someone try to hurt you? Tears I had been holding back started falling without permission. I covered my mouth and nodded. Officer James looked around, hand on his holster. Where did he go? I pointed toward the shadows. He was right here. He tried to steal my bag. He said he wasn't here to hurt me. James frowned deeply. Did he touch you? Did he follow you? He grabbed me, I whispered. James clenched his jaw. Get inside your car. Lock the doors. He walked toward the corner, flashlight in hand. He searched, but the man was already gone. After a few minutes he came back. He must have run. But Emma, you need to be very careful. These types of people don't stop after one try. I nodded, but inside I was breaking. He said he would patrol the area more often. He told me to call him if I saw anything strange. But his words felt far away. My hands were cold. My body felt empty. I kept thinking what would have happened if that car hadn't entered at the right time. When I finally sat inside my car, I locked the doors and stared straight ahead. My breath fogged the glass. My fingers still felt the thief's grip. My skin felt dirty. My bones felt weak. But the worst part, the part that kept me frozen, was his voice. The way he said, "Don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you." As I knew, he was lying. He came for me once. He would come again. And I didn't know how to stop him. I didn't sleep that night. Not even for a minute. I kept hearing his footsteps in my mind, the slow, heavy sound that followed me in the dark. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face again, half hidden, half smiling, fully dangerous. My arm still hurt where he grabbed me. My breath still shook every few minutes. It felt like fear had moved into my bones. Lily noticed something was wrong the moment she woke up. She walked into my room holding her little teddy bear, rubbing her eyes. "Mom, you look sick," she said. I forced a small smile. "I'm okay, baby. Just tired." But she kept staring at me like she knew I wasn't telling the truth. Kids always know. They see more than adults think. She climbed onto the bed and leaned against me. "Did someone hurt you?" My throat tightened. I didn't want to scare her. I didn't want to tell her that the world outside wasn't safe. I didn't want to tell her that her mother wasn't as strong as she pretended to be. So I just hugged her. Hugging her made me feel alive again. Made me feel like I had something to protect. Something worth fighting for. "Mom," she whispered. "Did you cry?" I didn't answer. My silence was enough. After getting her ready for school, I kept looking outside the window again and again. Every car passing by made me nervous. Every person walking on the street made me suspicious. Every shadow felt like him. When Lily's school van arrived, I walked her outside and hugged her too tightly. The driver looked at me strangely, but I didn't care. I just wanted my daughter safe. Bye, Mom. She waved. I waved back, my heart churning inside me. The moment she disappeared around the corner, a strange emptiness wrapped around me. I wasn't safe alone. I could feel it. I made myself a cup of coffee, but my hands were shaking too much. The mug slipped and spilled all over the counter. I grabbed a towel to clean the mess, but I ended up dropping the towel too. I felt useless, weak, broken. I needed to go to the cafe. Life doesn't stop just because fear is sitting in your chest. Bills don't stop. Rent doesn't stop. Lily's school needs don't stop. So I put on my jacket, took my bag, and left the house. When I reached the cafe, Sarah, my manager, took one look at me and stopped wiping the counter. Emma, what happened to you? I blinked too fast. Nothing. Long night. Emma, she said softly, your face tells me something happened. Tell me the truth. I opened my mouth, but I couldn't speak. My throat felt tight again. Sarah came closer and touched my arm. Sit down right now. She made me sit in the staff area near the back door. The minute I sat down, tears spilled out of my eyes. I didn't even want to cry, but the fear was too heavy to hold inside. He tried to rob me, I whispered. Sarah froze. Who? A man last night near my car. My voice shook. He grabbed me. He almost took my bag. Sarah gasped and covered her mouth. Oh my God, Emma. Did you call the police? Officer James came. He saw me after it happened. I wiped my face. But the man ran away. She sat next to me, her face full of worry. Emma, this is bad. You should have taken a day off. I can't, I said. I need the money. You need safety too. Before I could reply, we heard a sound. A knock on the back door. A sudden loud knock. Both of us jumped. Sarah frowned and whispered. Who could that be? Deliveries don't come this early. My heart started pounding again. Don't open it. Sarah peeked through the small glass window. I watched her face turn white. Her eyes widened. Her breath got stuck. Emma, she whispered. No one is there. What? He knocked and ran. A cold wave went through my whole body. I walked slowly toward the little window and looked outside. The back alley was empty. Silent. Dead quiet. But the glass had something on it. A mark. A red line. Like someone dragged a marker or a finger across the glass. My breath left my body. Sarah covered her mouth again. Emma. Someone's watching you. I felt the room spinning around me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. But my legs wouldn't move. My heart wouldn't beat right. My mind kept repeating his voice from last night. Don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you. That was the first lie. Lunchtime came and I tried to focus on work. Customers came and went. Orders were made. Coffee machines hissed. People laughed. Life outside my fear was normal. But inside my mind, everything was dark. Every time the bell above the cafe door rang, I jumped. Every time someone walked past the window, my heart raced. I expected to see the black hoodie standing there. Watching. Waiting. Sarah kept checking on me. She even told the other staff to stay close to me. But fear doesn't leave just because people stand near you. Fear stays. It grows. It whispers. Hours passed, and when my shift ended, my body felt heavy like stone. I didn't want to walk to the parking lot again. I didn't want to step into that darkness. But I had no choice. I needed to pick up Lily from my neighbor's house. Before leaving, Sarah handed me a cup of tea. Drink this before you go. I sipped it, but my stomach felt sick. She walked me to the front door. Call me when you reach home, she said. I nodded and stepped outside. The sun had set. The sky was turning dark purple. The street lights flickered. The same cold feeling from last night returned instantly. Like something bad was waiting for me again. I kept looking around while walking to my car. Every sound made me jump. Even the wind behind me felt like a person breathing on my neck. When I finally reached my car, I scanned the entire lot. No one was there. Or at least no one I could see. I unlocked my car quickly and got inside. Locked the doors. Took a deep breath. Tried to calm my shaking hands. I started the engine and began driving home. The road felt too quiet. Too empty. I kept checking my mirrors again and again. Scared that the black hoodie would appear behind me. Every shadow on the street looked like a person. Every light looked like danger. When I reached home, I picked up Lily, hugged her tight and took her inside. I double-locked the door, then triple-checked all windows. Lily watched me silently. Mom, is someone following us? I closed my eyes. No, baby. No one is following us. Another lie. A lie I needed to tell. Night came again. I put Lily to bed, kissed her forehead and sat on the couch. I didn't turn on the lights. I didn't turn on the TV. I just sat there listening to the sounds outside. A dog barked. A car passed. A door closed somewhere far. Then silence. I hated silence now. Silence meant danger. I tried to text Sarah, but my hands were shaking too much. Suddenly, a loud thump came from outside. I jumped up and ran to the window. I pulled the curtain slowly, praying I wouldn't see him. I saw nothing. The street was empty. But something was on my doorstep. A small white paper. I opened the door slowly, my heart pounding like thunder, grabbed the paper and rushed inside. I locked the door again. I unfolded it with trembling fingers. A message was written in red marker. You got lucky last night. My blood turned to ice. My knees gave out and I fell to the floor. My breath was shaking uncontrollably. Tears filled my eyes. He wasn't gone. He wasn't done. He wanted me scared. He wanted me watching every corner. He wanted to come back. I grabbed my phone and called Officer James immediately. My voice broke as I spoke. He left a note. At my door. James said he was coming right away. While I waited, I sat against the wall hugging my knees. Every second felt like a full hour. Every sound felt like a threat. Every shadow looked like him. When James arrived, he saw the note and his face darkened. Emma. This is not a simple thief. This is someone dangerous. I know, I whispered. What do I do? He looked at me for a long moment, then said softly, you need to be strong. For Lily. Those words hurt and healed at the same time. He promised to patrol near my building. He told me to call him if I saw anything strange. He told me to stay inside as much as possible. But when he left, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't scared because someone tried to rob me. I was scared because someone chose me. And he wasn't finished. I didn't know fear could stay inside a person for so long. I thought it would fade by morning, or at least become a little weaker, but it didn't. When I woke up the next day, it was still sitting on my chest like a heavy stone. I kept hearing the thief's voice in my mind, the way he said, you got lucky last night. Lucky. That word hurt more than anything else. Lucky meant he wanted another chance. Lucky meant he wasn't done. Lucky meant he knew where I lived. I kept checking the door again and again, even though I had locked it 3 times. I checked the windows. I checked the hallway through the peephole. I checked everything. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. My heart wouldn't slow down. Every tiny sound in the apartment building made me jump. But the hardest part was pretending to be normal for Lily. She came out of her room wearing her blue school shirt, holding her backpack and her teddy bear. Mom, can you braid my hair today? Her voice was soft, innocent, full of trust. I forced a smile and sat her down. My hands were shaking as I braided her hair, but I tried to hide it. She watched me carefully through the mirror. Mom, are you scared? My breath got stuck. I wanted to lie. I wanted to tell her everything was fine. But she kept looking at me with those big, honest eyes that always see the truth. So I said, a little. But I will keep you safe. She nodded slowly, like she wanted to believe me but wasn't sure. When the school van arrived, I walked her outside and hugged her longer than usual. Mom, you're squeezing me, she said. Sorry. I just love you. She smiled and got into the van. I stood there watching until the van disappeared. When it was gone, the street suddenly felt too quiet again. Too open. Too dangerous. I hurried inside and locked the door. I didn't want to leave the apartment at all, but I had to go to work. Bills don't stop. Rent doesn't stop. And single mothers certainly don't get breaks just because someone is stalking them. I picked up my bag and checked it twice. Then I checked the windows again. Then I checked the hallway again. I finally convinced myself to step outside. I walked fast, almost running down the stairs. I kept looking around like someone would jump out at any second. Outside, the morning air felt colder than usual. The sky was gray, like it was waiting for rain, or waiting for something else. I scanned the whole sidewalk before walking to my car. No one was around. But that didn't calm me. It made me more nervous. Dangerous people don't always show themselves. I unlocked my car, got inside and locked the doors immediately. My body relaxed only a little. I took a deep breath and started driving. At the cafe, Sarah saw me and rushed over. "Emma, are you okay? Did anything else happen?" I shook my head. "Just the note." She sighed with relief. "That's already too much. You should really talk to the cafe owner. Maybe we can arrange earlier shifts for you." "I can't lose hours," I said. "I need the money." She nodded because she understood. She always did. But even during work I felt eyes on me. I felt watched. I felt followed. I kept turning around every few minutes. Every time the cafe door opened, my heart jumped. Every time someone walked past the window, my chest tightened. Around noon, Sarah whispered, "Emma, someone is outside." My whole body froze. "What do you mean?" She pointed at the window. A man, standing across the street, wearing a dark hoodie. My stomach dropped. I slowly walked toward the counter and looked out the window very carefully, trying not to be obvious. There he was. Not the same thief from the parking lot, but the same height, same posture, same cold stillness, standing perfectly still, facing the cafe, facing me. He wasn't trying to hide. He wasn't pretending to be a customer. He wasn't walking by. He was staring straight at me. My breath got stuck. For a moment, everything around me disappeared. Customers, machines, noise, everything. It felt like only he and I existed in that moment. Sarah whispered, "Is that him?" "I don't know," I whispered. I can't see his face. But something inside me knew. It was him. Or it was someone working with him. I stepped back from the window, my heart racing. Sarah pulled me aside. "Emma, we need to call the police." "No," I whispered. "What if he runs away again? They won't catch him. Then what do we do?" "I don't know." I didn't know anything anymore. I just knew I needed to survive. I needed to protect Lily. I needed to stay alive. Minutes later, I looked out again. He was gone. Vanished. Sarah placed a comforting hand on my back. "Emma, I'm scared for you." "I'm scared too." The rest of the shift felt like walking through a nightmare. A long, slow nightmare. By the time my shift ended, my nerves were already broken. But the worst part of the day was still waiting for me. I walked to the parking lot again. This time I didn't walk fast. I walked slowly, scanning every corner, every shadow, every car, every dark spot. My hand was shaking as I unlocked my car. I got inside and locked the doors immediately. Then something caught my eye. A small piece of paper, stuck under my windshield wiper. I stared at it for a long moment, frozen. My breath was trapped inside my chest. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to read it. I didn't want to know what was written this time. But I had to. I slowly opened the door, keeping one leg inside the car, grabbed the paper and rushed back inside, locking the doors again. My fingers trembled as I unfolded it. There was no full sentence this time. Just 3 words. "Nice blue shirt." I looked down at myself. I was wearing a blue shirt. The thief had seen me. He had been near me. Close enough to see my clothes. Close enough to leave a note on my car. Close enough to touch my life again. My vision blurred with tears. My breath broke. I leaned forward, pressing my forehead against the steering wheel. He was watching me. He was following me. He was everywhere. I drove home fast, my eyes constantly checking the mirrors. Every car behind me made me panic. Every turn made me anxious. Every shadow made me feel hunted. I reached home, picked up Lily, and locked the door behind us. I didn't tell her about the note, but she noticed my shaking hands. "Mom," she whispered, "is the bad man back?" I swallowed hard. "No, baby. Don't worry. I won't let anyone hurt you." She hugged me tightly. "I love you, Mom." Her little voice made something inside me break even more. I hugged her back like my life depended on it. After putting her to bed, I sat alone in the living room again. I turned on only one small lamp. Too much light made me feel exposed. Too little light made me feel hunted. I kept listening to sounds outside. Footsteps. Doors closing. Car engines. Wind. Then a soft tap. Not loud. Not aggressive. Just a small tap on my front door. I froze. Top, top, top. Then silence. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I didn't blink. I stared at the door like it would burst open any second. I grabbed my phone and texted Officer James. Someone knocked on my door again. He replied immediately, "I'm coming. Don't open." I waited. Every second felt like an hour. Then suddenly my phone buzzed again. But it wasn't James this time. It was a new number. No name. Unknown. A message appeared. "Why didn't you open the door?" My entire body went cold. My hands shook uncontrollably. My throat closed. I looked toward the door, terrified that a face would appear in the peephole. Then another message came. I said, "I'm not done with you." My breath broke. My heart raced out of control. I heard footsteps outside. Heavy ones. Slow ones. Then silence again. When Officer James arrived, I opened the door with tears running down my face. He saw my phone screen. He saw the messages. His face changed. A seriousness I had never seen before. "Emma, this man is not just a thief anymore." I wiped my face. "What is he?" James looked straight into my eyes. "A predator." My legs almost gave out. James helped me sit down. "Emma, he is watching you. He is following you. He chose you. This is not random." "I know," I whispered, shaking uncontrollably. "What do I do? How do I stop him?" James placed a firm hand on my shoulder. "Then we catch him." Something shifted inside me at those words. Fear didn't leave, but something stronger began to grow inside it. Anger. And the understanding that this nightmare was just beginning. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those dark eyes staring at me from behind the car. I kept thinking about the thief's voice, the cold way he said, "This is not over." The clock hit 3:17 a.m., and I was still wide awake. My small apartment felt even smaller tonight. Every sound felt louder. The wind outside. The old fridge shaking. Even Lily's soft breathing sounded heavy, like the room itself was scared. I sat on the couch with my knees tight against my chest. I kept the living room lamp on. I didn't dare turn it off. I kept imagining that if the room went dark, he would appear again, standing near the door waiting. My heart jumped every time a car passed outside. I looked at Lily sleeping on the mattress next to the couch. She had kicked her blanket away again. I pulled it over her and kissed her forehead. Her innocence made my chest hurt. She didn't deserve any of this. She didn't deserve fear. But I didn't know how to protect her anymore. At 4:05 a.m. my phone buzzed. For a moment I froze, afraid to even touch it. Then I slowly reached for it. A text message. From an unknown number. "You can't hide behind police forever." My blood turned cold. My hands started shaking again. I stared at the message for a long time, unable to breathe. The thief. Or maybe the brother, he had my number. How? When? Did he get it from my lost wallet? Did he watch my house? Did he stand outside? I ran to the window and pulled the curtain just a little. The parking lot looked empty. No one stood there. No one moved. Still, the fear didn't leave. I quickly grabbed my phone and tried calling Officer James. No answer. It was too late. Maybe he was sleeping. Maybe he was with his family. Maybe he thought the danger was finished. But I knew it wasn't. At 4:30 a.m., I forced myself to lock every window again. I checked the front door 3 times. I made sure the chain was tight. Everything felt unsafe. Even the walls felt too thin. When morning came, I felt like I had stayed awake for a year. Lily sat beside me, rubbing her eyes. "Mom, why didn't you sleep?" I smiled, trying to hide the truth. "I was just thinking, baby." But she looked at me the way kids do when they know something is wrong. "Mom, are we in danger?" My chest tightened. I should have lied. I should have said no. But I couldn't. "I won't let anything happen to you," I said instead. She nodded slowly, trusting me like she always did. That trust scared me more than anything, because I wasn't sure I could actually protect her if the thief came back. I made breakfast, but I couldn't eat. I kept checking the window, my phone, the door. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. At 8 a.m. I dropped Lily at school. I didn't want to, but keeping her home felt more dangerous. If the thief followed me, I wanted her far away. Safe. Outside her school, I kept staring at every man walking by, every dark jacket, every fast step, every shadow. Anyone could be him. People must have thought I was crazy. When I arrived at work, my manager, Sarah, took one look at me and frowned. "Emma, you look like you haven't slept in weeks." I tried to smile. "It was a rough night." She touched my arm. "You're shaking. What happened?" I wanted to tell her everything. About the thief. About the brother. About the message. But the words felt heavy. I didn't want to drag her into my fear.
"I'm okay," he whispered.
She didn't believe me, but she didn't push. As I worked, every little sound made me jump. Someone dropped a tray, my heart nearly stopped. A man coughed behind me. I turned so fast I got dizzy. Around 1 p.m., I received another message. "I told you. This isn't over. You took my brother. Now I'm coming for what's yours." I felt like the room spun. I grabbed the counter to stay standing. My vision blurred. I couldn't breathe. I rushed to the staff bathroom and locked myself inside. Tears burned in my eyes. He was serious. He wasn't playing. He wasn't bluffing. I typed to Officer James again. "Me, please call me. It's urgent." No response. I felt completely alone. When my shift ended at 7 p.m., fear settled in my stomach like a stone. Nights were worse. Nights felt like traps. Nights were when shadows came alive. I stood outside the restaurant door, afraid to step into the dark parking lot. The sun had already set. Only small lights flickered around the lot, leaving long empty spaces between them. I kept looking around. My heart thumped so hard it hurt. Sarah walked out behind me. "Do you want me to walk you to your car?" she asked. For a second I wanted to cry. "Yes," I whispered. We walked together. She kept talking about small things, weather, shifts, tips, trying to distract me. But my eyes never stopped scanning the shadows. When we reached my car, she squeezed my hand. "Call me if you need anything, okay?" I nodded. "Thank you." She waited until I drove off. As I got closer to home, my fear got heavier. I slowed the car and looked at the building. The hallway lights were still on. Everything looked normal. But my instincts screamed at me. Something felt wrong. I parked slowly. I didn't get out. I just sat, gripping the steering wheel, staring at the entrance door. I waited. Nothing moved. After a long minute, I finally stepped out. The air felt colder than usual. The night too quiet. Even the street dogs were gone. I walked fast, my keys tight in my hand. When I reached the entrance door, I paused. I slowly pushed it open and stepped inside. Silence. A long, empty hallway. I walked to my apartment door and stopped. Something felt off. My door, it was closed, but the lock looked strange. Scratched. Slightly bent. "No," I whispered. "Please no." I reached out and touched the lock. And that's when I heard it. A slow, heavy breath. Coming from inside my apartment. My heart exploded in my chest. He was inside. He was already inside. My hands shook uncontrollably. I stumbled backward. My throat felt tight. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. Suddenly my phone vibrated. A message. I forced myself to look. "Told you. You can't protect anything." I swallowed my panic and ran downstairs as fast as I could. My legs felt like they would break. But I didn't stop. Not until I reached the parking lot again. I hid behind a car, breathing fast, trying not to cry. My mind rushed in circles. Where was Lily? Safe. She was still at her friend's house for the sleepover. Thank God. Thank God. But if he was inside, if he searched my home, if he waited, what was he planning? Before I could think more, footsteps echoed from the stairwell. Slow, heavy, confident. He was coming down. He was coming for me. I pressed myself against the cold metal of the car and prayed he wouldn't see me. The footsteps got closer, then stopped. Right in front of the car I was hiding behind. I held my breath. My phone vibrated again. Buzz. I slowly looked at the screen. Turn around. My blood froze. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I didn't even blink. I felt the air behind me shift. Someone was standing there. Very close. Too close. I closed my eyes and prayed this wasn't my last night. I couldn't move. My body felt frozen, like the air around me had turned into ice. I didn't want to turn around. I didn't want to see his face. I didn't want to know how close he really was. But I could feel him, standing right behind me, breathing slowly like he was enjoying my fear. My hands trembled so badly I almost dropped my phone. My legs felt weak. My heart hit my ribs so hard it hurt. For a moment it felt like time itself had stopped. Then I heard him speak. His voice was low, slow, and cold. "You run fast," he whispered. "But not fast enough." I felt tears burn in my eyes, but I didn't let them fall. I didn't want him to know how scared I really was. I slowly turned around. He stood only 2 steps away from me. A tall man in a dark hoodie, face half covered, but eyes visible, sharp, cold, angry. Those eyes didn't look like the eyes of a person. They looked like the eyes of someone who had nothing left to lose. For a few seconds we just stared at each other. My breath came in short, shaky gasps. "What do you want?" I finally whispered. He tilted his head like he was studying me. "You didn't listen," he said. "I told you not to call the police. You destroyed my brother's life. Now I'm going to destroy yours." My voice barely came out. "I didn't do anything wrong." He stepped closer. I stepped back until my back hit the car. "You took him from me," he said, his voice getting darker. "Now I'll take something from you." I swallowed my fear. "You won't touch my daughter," I said softly. Something sharp flashed in his eyes. "Oh," he said. "So you already know what I want." My stomach twisted. All I could think of was Lily. Her smile. Her small hands holding mine. Her school bag. Her drawings on the fridge. My whole world. My only family. And he wanted to take her from me.
No, he whispered.
"You're not going near her." He leaned closer. I smelled smoke on his clothes, metal on his hands. "I was already near her," he whispered in my ear. "Closer than you think." I felt the ground drop under me. My heart crashed. He stepped back and smiled underneath the hood. "You should check her school bag," he said. "Kids drop things all the time, especially when someone follows them." For a moment I forgot how to breathe.
Lily's bag.
Did he touch her bag? Did he follow her earlier? Did he get close to her? No.
No.
I shook my head. "You're lying." His smile widened. "Am I?" At that moment, fear hit me so hard my vision blurred. I reached for my phone. I had to call someone. Anyone. He grabbed my wrist before I could dial. His grip was rough, painful. "You won't call the police this time," he said. "Or next time will be worse." I pulled my hand away with all my strength and stumbled backward. "Why are you doing this?" I cried. He didn't answer. He just stared at me, silent, dangerous. Then he turned his head like he heard something. A car engine in the distance. A dog barking. Someone walking nearby. In a second he stepped back into the shadows. "This is only the beginning," he whispered. "Be ready." Then he disappeared between the buildings. I fell on my knees. My chest hurt from breathing too fast. My hand shook so violently I almost dropped my phone again. My mind raced in circles. I needed help. I needed someone. I needed to protect Lily. I forced myself to stand and ran toward my car. I locked the doors the second I got inside. My hands trembled as I grabbed the steering wheel. I kept checking the rearview mirror. Every shadow looked like him. Every shape looked like danger. I drove straight to Lily's friend's house. I knocked on the door so hard the mother rushed out in confusion. "Emma? What happened?" I tried to breathe. "I need my daughter," I whispered. "Now." She didn't ask questions. She called Lily. I hugged her the second she stepped out, holding her so tight she complained a little. "Mom, what's wrong?" she asked. I kissed her hair. "Nothing, baby. You're safe now," I said. But inside I knew I was lying. Nothing was safe. Not anymore. I put her in the car and drove away. I didn't take the main road. I changed direction 3 times. I kept checking the mirror. I felt watched, followed, hunted. Every car behind me looked suspicious. Every man walking looked dangerous. My hands didn't stop shaking. When we finally reached a small motel far from our home, Lily looked confused. "Are we staying here?" she asked. "For one night," I whispered. "Just one night." She didn't ask more. She could tell I was scared. I locked the motel door 3 times, checked the windows again and again. I pulled the curtains tight. Then I took Lily's backpack. My hands hesitated before opening it. Inside was her notebook, her water bottle, her pencil case, and a small piece of crumpled paper. A note. I felt my stomach turn when I opened it. Cute kid. Shame if someone takes her too. My knees buckled. I sat on the floor, shaking so hard Lily came running to me. Mom! Mom, what happened? I held her and cried silently. I didn't want her to see my fear, but I couldn't stop it anymore. Someone had followed my daughter. Someone had touched her bag. Someone had been close enough to hurt her. I kissed her forehead again and again. I won't let anything happen to you, I whispered. I promise. But inside the truth terrified me. I didn't know how to protect her anymore. I didn't know when he would come back. I didn't know how far he could go. And worst of all, I didn't know how this nightmare was going to end. I didn't sleep a second in that motel room. I sat on the broken chair near the window with the curtains pulled tight, listening for every sound outside. Every car that passed made my heart jump. Every footstep in the hallway made my breath stop. Lily slept beside me on the small motel bed, hugging her little stuffed bear. She looked so peaceful, so innocent, so unaware of the storm that was coming for us. I kept watching her chest rise and fall, making sure she was still safe, still breathing, still with me. I don't know when the tears started. They came quietly, rolling down my cheeks as I whispered to myself, I can't lose her. I can't. I can't. It felt like my whole world was slipping out of my hands. It felt like I was holding on to my daughter with one hand and drowning with the other. At 5:26 a.m. my phone buzzed. A message. From the same unknown number. Running won't save you. My hand shook so violently I nearly dropped the phone. Another message came seconds later. Time is up. Time is up. Time is up. The words echoed inside my mind like a nightmare I couldn't escape. I stood up immediately. My legs felt weak, but I forced myself to move. I grabbed my small bag, Lily's jacket, and her shoes. I gently shook her. Baby, wake up, I whispered. We have to go. She rubbed her eyes. Mom, it's still dark. I know, I said, trying to steady my voice. But we need to leave. She didn't argue. She trusted me. That trust felt both beautiful and terrifying. As we walked out of the motel room, I held her hand so tightly I was afraid I might hurt her. But I didn't let go, not even for a second. The hallway was empty. The air smelled like old cigarettes and mold. I kept looking behind me, half expecting him to appear. Outside, the parking lot was quiet. Too quiet. The sky was still dark, only a faint line of gray on the horizon. I looked around. Left. Right. Behind the trash cans. Behind the cars. Nothing. But that only made it worse. Fear doesn't always come in the form of footsteps or shadows. Sometimes it comes as silence. I put Lily in the car seat, locked the doors, and got inside. My hand shook as I started the engine. We drove. We didn't talk. We didn't listen to music. We didn't breathe properly. Every minute felt like a countdown. My thoughts raced. Where could we go? Who could help us? Could we disappear? Was he already following? At a red light, I saw something in the rearview mirror. A black car, headlights off. My heart stopped. Was it him? The light turned green. The car behind didn't move at first. Then it slowly pulled forward. I turned left. It turned left. I changed lanes. It changed lanes. My breath rushed out in panic. Mom! Lily whispered from the back seat. It's okay, I lied. I got you. I got you. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I sped up. I took a sharp turn into a crowded gas station and parked between two big trucks. I turned off the engine and pulled Lily down with me behind the dashboard. Stay quiet, I whispered. She nodded and hid her face in my chest. I peered through the tiny gap under the steering wheel. The black car drove past slowly, very slowly, as if searching. My chest tightened. Please don't stop. Please don't stop. Please don't stop. The car paused for one long second, then kept driving. I didn't move for a full minute. My breath came out in painful little gasps. Finally, when the car disappeared, I grabbed my phone and dialed the police. This time Officer James answered. Emma, he said, his voice serious. Where are you? Please, I whispered, trying not to cry. He found us. He followed us. He sent messages. He's going after my daughter. He didn't waste a second. Tell me your location. Don't hang up. I told him. Stay exactly where you are, he said. I'm coming. It took him 10 minutes to arrive, but those 10 minutes felt like 10 hours. Every headlight made me jump. Every passing car felt like danger. When the police truck finally pulled up beside us, I felt my entire body collapse in relief. Officer James got out and came straight to my door. His eyes widened when he saw me shaking. Emma, step out slowly. Come with me. I followed him into the gas station store. Lily held my hand tight. Is he still following you? He asked. I don't know, I stuttered. I swear he was behind me. He was inside my apartment last night. He left a note in my daughter's bag. Before I could finish, his radio buzzed. Officer James, we found the apartment break-in. Fingerprints match the brother. He's wanted for multiple thefts. He's dangerous. My blood ran cold. Dangerous. I already knew that. He radioed back. Go on alert. I have the victims with me. Victims. That word hurt more than it should. He turned to me. Emma, you're going into protective custody. What does that mean? I whispered. That means, he said, you and your daughter will stay in a safe house with security until this man is caught. I nodded, tears finally falling. But we need to leave now, he added. He might still be close. We were taken to a police van. 2 officers sat in the front, watching every angle. I sat in the back with Lily. She held my hand the whole time. When we reached the safe house, I expected safety. But the truth was, safety didn't feel real anymore. I kept looking at the windows, the door, the walls. I felt him everywhere. That night I stayed awake again. Around 11:48 p.m., the lights in the hall outside suddenly flickered. My heart stopped. Officer James knocked on the door. Emma? Don't panic. The power system is old. Happens often. I nodded, pretending to be calm. But deep inside, fear crawled under my skin like fire. At 1:03 a.m., a loud bang came from outside the safe house. I jumped, grabbing Lily and pulling her against me. Officer James rushed to the window. It's okay, he said quietly. Just a trash can. I tried to believe him. At 3:17 a.m., Lily woke up crying. Mom, I had a bad dream. It's just a dream, baby, I whispered, hugging her close. At 3:21 a.m., my phone vibrated. No number, just a picture. My heart stopped when I opened it. My apartment door. The same scratches. The same angle. Taken just minutes ago. A message followed. You can hide behind the police. Another message. But I'm still coming. A final message. Tell your daughter good night. I screamed before I could stop myself. Officer James rushed in. What happened? I showed him the phone. His face hardened. We're moving you, he said. Right now. But before he could finish, we heard footsteps. Right outside the safe house. Heavy. Slow. Not afraid. Coming closer. Lily started shaking. I held her so tight she could barely breathe. Another step. Another. Another. Officer James drew his gun. Stay back, he whispered to me. Stay behind me. No matter what. The footsteps stopped right outside the door. Silence. A shadow moved under the door frame. Then a loud crash shook the whole house. The door handle jerked violently. Once. Twice. 3 times. Someone was trying to break in. It's him, I whispered, frozen. Oh God, it's him. Backup is on the way, James said. Don't panic. But I could hear my own heart breaking inside my chest. The door shook again. Harder. Then we heard a voice. That voice. The same cold voice from the parking lot. Emma, he whispered through the door. Let me in. Lily started crying. I put my hand over her mouth gently so he wouldn't hear. The door shook again, harder than before. Wood cracking. Hinges bending. Officer James raised his weapon. Move away from the door, he yelled. The thief laughed. You think you can stop me? Finally, sirens. Police cars. Loud. Fast. Getting closer. The thief cursed and ran. Officer James took off after him, shouting into his radio. Suspect running east. Chase on foot. For a moment I couldn't breathe. My legs gave out. I fell to my knees, hugging Lily so hard she sobbed. Minutes later, more officers flooded the house. 20 minutes later, James returned, breathing hard, clothes dirty, forehead bleeding. "He's caught," he said. I stared at him, not believing. "We got him, Emma," he repeated softer. "It's over." It felt like my heart finally broke free from a cage. I cried loud, shaking painful tears. Lily hugged me. "Are we safe, Mom?" she whispered. I looked at her. This time, I could finally tell the truth. "Yes, baby," I whispered, kissing her forehead. "Yes, we're safe now." For the first time in days, I felt air fill my lungs without fear. For the first time, I believed we would survive. And for the first time, I finally felt like the nightmare had ended.